Hey everyone, it's me again. Today I decided to continue with the Bridgerton theme. This time I thought I could draw Kate and Anthony. I gathered quite a few reference images for this one, especially for the clothes, because some of the main references that I used for, the two of them dancing, a lot of it was quite dark, especially in Anthony's outfit, and it was hard to know exactly what the details of his vest are and all of that sort of stuff. So I found a few images that just showed some of that type of clothing. Sort of created my own, I guess, although it is still pretty similar to what he's wearing in the show, I think. Afterwards, I moved on to Kate, her hair in particular, her eyes I was having a lot of trouble with. I think I was just putting a lot of pressure on myself because I think she's legitimately the prettiest woman I've ever seen. I'm not even joking. So I definitely put quite a lot of pressure on myself to get her right. I'm not sure if I did. I think towards the end she looked a bit more like herself, but there's definitely some things that, looking at it now, I would have changed. But still, I'm still quite happy with it. Making Anthony look like himself was actually easier, although he did look kind of derpy for a lot of the speed art. You'll see what I mean. It was just really hard to get his expression right, because I wanted him to be looking at her, but maybe I should have drawn him more at a profile to just make life a bit easier on me. I think for a while there too, a little piece of his shirt kind of made his chin look ridiculous, and I didn't notice that for a pretty long time until my boyfriend pointed it out to me. So when he pointed it out to me, I fixed it. But yeah, forgive that little detail. And then, as always, I moved on to the line art. I always add flowers off screen. Maybe I should start doing it on screen. But I just feel like they add so much, especially to these sort of coloring pages. Bridgerton ones and anything that's, kind of romantic or sweet. They just always make the piece look so much more put together, I think. And it's extra fun to color in. So I thought about narrating the entire thing, but I really think that a lot of it is kind of self-explanatory. Although, if you guys want to see me make a bit of a tutorial or something, let me know. Anyways, I thought instead I'll tell you a little bit about my day. So I actually not that recently to be fair, almost a year ago, I moved to Portugal. And I have been absolutely loving Portugal so far. Also, I don't know, it might be like a common thing for a lot of people who are European and just live next to castles, and that seems completely normal to them. But for me, like, I live pretty close to a castle, and every time I go on a walk near it, I'm just like in awe that I'm living right next to it. It's amazing. Also, I really am into Dungeons and Dragons, and we have a little group, and we also meet up next to a castle, and just playing D&D right next to a magical place like that is so cool. And I'm still not used to it. I hope I never get used to it. There's something about moving to an entirely new country with a different language that just makes you kind of feel free, in a sense. I feel like when I'm back home, there's a certain expectation out of me, like to behave a certain way, or even if it's all in my own head, it is there and it's constantly weighing me down. I'm quite an anxious person by nature, so there's just something super freeing about not feeling like I have that sort of expectation on me. Although maybe that would change once my Portuguese improves a lot. Maybe then I'll feel more like I fit in and therefore have the responsibility of fitting in as well. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, thinking back on things, I always knew I wanted to move to Europe. I was never really sure about which country, but it did always seem very far away because it was kind of terrifying thinking about making that move and everything. And I knew I wouldn't be able to do it just on my own. I think a lot of things sort of fall into place once you have a partner. I think a part of me just didn't really believe I would find the right man for me, but it was more than that. My anxiety for a really long time made it so that I rarely ever left the house, and I just didn't think that I was capable of even finding anyone, much less someone who was perfect for me. And actually, it's kind of a funny story. I met him during COVID because for someone like me, it was the perfect opportunity to start talking to guys, without the commitment to meeting up straight away. I wanted to talk for a bit before that, but maybe it's because I was using Tinder and, that's mostly for hooks, but it was hard. Like, people would want to meet, like, very quickly, and I was not comfortable with that at all. But since it was quarantine and no one could leave the house anyways, it turned out really well for us because we talked for about, I think, like a whole month before we met up. And by that time, I was feeling a lot more comfortable. I mean, I was still nervous when we met up for the first time and for the second time, to be fair. And I think it was only by our third date that my anxiety started going down a little. But I was very honest about it from the get-go, so he knew what to expect, sort of. And he was very, very sweet and very helpful. I told him, I think it was like our second date or our third date, I told him that I have a real fear of just awkward silences. So he just turned to me and he said, well, let's just sit quietly for a few minutes together. And it was perfect. It actually really, really helped. It sounds counterintuitive, but it made sense. It was just facing the fear, and not just letting it dictate the way that I was feeling. It was just like, let's just do it, let's deal with it. And honestly, that was the way to go. He's listening to me as I record this, and he just was like, hey, wait a minute, that makes me sound like an asshole. So I had to clarify. It was all from a good place, and it worked out very well for both of us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun drawing this one. I'll leave the freebie in the comments below so you can easily find it. And yeah, that's it. As always, if you want to support me, I sell adult coloring books over on my Etsy store, which I will also leave in the description below so you can check out. If you like my art, feel free to leave a comment or share it if you want. Always really helps. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day, everyone.